Recording in progress.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. சரியா இருக்கா? இன்னும் கொஞ்சம். ஹரி ஓம். ஹரி ஓம். இன்க்ரீஸ் பண்ணுமா? சரியா இருக்கா? சரியா இருக்கு.
Swamiji? I have a quick question, Swamiji. This Naranarayana are, initially when they came in the tree, they are the children of Prasuti and Daksha?
Naranarayana?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Where it is written?
Oh, no, sorry. Prasuti and Daksha's son, Murti's children, Naranarayana.
Murti.
No.
Murti.
Yeah, is this the Naranarayana that came in yesterday's, in Tuesday's class? Are they the same as Murti's children?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
That was their third canto, right? No, second canto.
Oh. No, because sometimes some names are common.
Yeah.
So that's why, just for sake of continuity and understanding.
Common name is Daksha.
Yeah. Even this name, Devakulya, Prasuti, in many places it comes. It's not the same person.
No. So.
Yeah.
Okay, we start. ശ്രീ ഗണേശായ നമഃ. ശ്രീ സരസ്വത്यै നമഃ. ശ്രീ സദ്ഗുരുഭ്യോ നമഃ. സമസ്തജനകല്യാണേ നിരതം കരുണാമയം നമാമി ചിന്മയം ദേവം സദ്ഗുരും ബ്രഹ്മവിദ്വരം. മനോജവം മാരുതതുല്യവേഗം ജിതേന്ദ്രിയം ബുദ്ധിമതാം വരിഷ്ടം. വാതാത്മജം വാനരയൂതമുഖ്യം ശ്രീരാമദൂതം ശിരസാ നമാമി. സന്തോഷിണീ ജഗന്മാതാ മമ സൗഭാഗ്യവൃദ്ധയേ. നമസ്കരോമി ഭക്ത്യാ ത്വാം പ്രസന്നാ വരദാ ഭവ. ശങ്കരം ശങ്കരാചാര്യം കേശവം ബാദരായണം സൂത്രഭാഷ്യകൃതൗ വന്ദേ ഭഗവന്തൗ പുനഃ പുനഃ. ഓം നമഃ പ്രണവാർത്ഥായ ശുദ്ധജ്ഞാനൈകമൂർത്തയേ നിർമ്മലായ പ്രശാന്തായ ദക്ഷിണാമൂർത്തയേ നമഃ. സച്ചിദാനന്ദരൂപായ വിശ്വോത്പത്യാദിഹേതവേ താപത്രയവിനാശായ ശ്രീകൃഷ്ണായ വയം നുമഃ. നീലാംബുജശ്യാമള കോമളാംഗം സീതാസമാരോപിത വാമഭാഗം. പാണൗ മഹാസായകചാരുചാപം നമാമി രാമം രഘുവംശനാഥം. ജന്മാദ്യസ്യ യതോന്മയാതിതരതശ്ചാർത്തേഷ്വഭിജ്ഞസ്വരാട് തേനേ ബ്രഹ്മഹൃദായ ആദികവയേ മുഹ്യന്തി യത്സൂരയഃ. തേജോ വാരിമൃതാം യഥാ വിനിമയോ യത്ര ത്രിസർഗോ മൃഷാ. ധാമ്നാ സ്വേന സദാ നിരസ്തകുഹകം സത്യം പരം ധീമഹി. ധർമ്മപ്രോജ്ജിതകൈതപുത്രപരമോ നിർമത്സരാണാം സതാം. വേദ്യം വാസ്തവമത്ര വസ്തു ശിവദം താപത്രയോന്മൂലനം. ശ്രീമദ്ഭാഗവതേ മഹാമുനികൃതേ കിം वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभित्तक्षणात्. निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः. यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेदमपेदकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव. पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुः तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि. यस्वानुभावमखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपमतितितीर्षतां तमोन्धम्. സംസാരിണാം കരുണയാക പുരാണഗുഹ്യം തം വ്യാസസൂനുമുപയാമി ഗുരും മുനീനാം. നാരായണം നമസ്കൃത്യ നരം ചൈവ നരോത്തമം ദേവീം സരസ്വതിം വ്യാസം തതോ ജയമുദീരയേത്. We are on the chapter 26. Rajovacha Maharsha etat vaichitrim lokasya katamiti. How has this diversity of enjoyment and suffering come in this world? Trigunatvat kartruhu shraddhaya karmagateha prathak vidaha sarva eva sarvasya taratamyena bhavanti. It is because of the difference in the shraddha, faith of the actor, that differences in the fruits of action. Because even though it is a, Chukamarshi says, even though the karma is same, but due to the difference in the shraddha. Now, Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga, 17th chapter, if you have studied, Shraddha also, there are three kinds: Sattvic Shraddha, Tamasic Shraddha, Rajasic Shraddha. So, according to the type of Shraddha, the karma phalam changes. Karma may be sometime not that great, but because of the Shraddha, the karma phalam changes. How? Example, the Kannappa Nayanar. His action was what? He was offering meat to Bhagavan. So this is considered a tamasic act. But because of his Shraddha, Bhagavan himself gave darshan to him, isn't it? So that is why, even though the karma may be considered rajasic or tamasic, but if the Shraddha is higher, that I am doing this for Bhagavan. That's why Gita Bhagavan many times it said. So every action can be converted into a yajna if the bhavana of the performer is that he is offering this to the Lord. Yajnarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. Now that part is what is told here. Now he says, okay. Now Raja asked the question, where is Naraka? Is it a region in the earth itself, or is it outside the three lokas? Bhubhuvasvaha, three lokas. Or is it somewhere within the three lokas, but outside the earth? Chukamarshi says, Antarala eva trijagatyastu dishi dachinasya adastad bhumer uparishtacha. It is within the three lokas itself. Towards the south, at a lower level from the earth, and above the water. How to calculate that, I don't know. Lower level, south, above water. Lower level from the earth. So it's not earth. So it is in the space. So earth is like this, south, so down. In the space, yeah. Now there, the called Pitruloka. All Pitrus. Pitruloka means all the departed soul. They wait in a place until they get another birth. How long it will take, the time difference, there is a lot of time difference. Okay. Once the soul departs from the body, the time calculation changes. It is not the time like we calculate. So, these Pitras live there working for the welfare of their progeny on earth. That is why I consider Shraddha is very important. If you perform Shraddha, the Pitras get food. Because once a year is considered once a day for them. So they get food, so they will be satisfied, they won't be starving, and they bless you, your family, children. People don't know this, so they will neglect it and they get into trouble also. There Yama, the Lord of all Pitras, lives inflicting corrective punishment on the soul of the dead, whom his Yamadutas catch and bring them to Yamaraj. Now there are 21 such purgatories. Purgatory means correction center, means Naraka, according to 21 are there, it seems. 21 type. He has listed this here: Tamishra, Anthatamishra, Raurava, Maharaurava, Kumpipaka, Kalasutra, Asipatravana, Sukaramukha, Anthakupa, Krimi Bhojana, Sandamsha, Taptasurmi, Vajrakanta, Kantaka, Salmali, Vaitarani, Puyoda, Pranarodha, Vishasana, Lalavaksha, Sarameyatana, Avichi, Ayappana. Besides this 21, there are 7 more of them. So that is total 28. Anyway, now among these, the 8th sentence, Tatrayastu Paravittapatya Kalatran Apaharati. The Tamishra is the name of the hell, where person who deprive others of their wealth, son, wife, etc. Paravitta Vanchanam. Paravitta Apatkala Tranya Apaharati. For such people, they are bound and thrown by force by fierce-looking emissaries of Yama. They are starved, frightened, beaten. Once the soul reaches the hell, they are given a yatana deham. When they reach heaven, they get bhojanam, what you call enjoyment body. Here yatana shariram is given, torture body. That's why without body you don't feel the suffering, you see. They are starved, frightened, beaten, and in other ways punished in that utterly dark region until they become unconscious. This is Tamishra. Then Anthatamishra, what? He who deceives a husband and enjoys his wife is put into Anthatamishra. Suffering from the fierce tortures of that place, the sinner loses his senses and his sight and falls like a tree that has been cut. That is why this Naraka is called Anthatamishra. You become blind They will torture him. Tamishra, Anthatamishra. He who looking upon his body as the self, therefore persecuting other creatures for the prosperity for himself and family, will have to leave that body and that family here, and he will be hurled into Raurava automatically. Another one is called Raurava. So, because of your attachment to the body, you commit so many sins to protect that. You destroy others or you insult others. That is called Raurava. All those creatures who had been oppressed and killed by this kind of a sinner will appear as the fierce animal called Rurus, which are more ferocious than serpents, and torture the sinner by biting. It's called Raurava. Okay. Third one. He who perpetrates adharma and is solely concerned with filling his own stomach by any means falls into the hell called Maharaurava and is eaten up by the type of Rurus called flesh eaters. Now the 13th one. Kumbhipakam. Kumbhipakam. Those heartlessly cruel fellows who cook birds and animals alive. There are people, Japanese eat fish like that one. Live one, isn't it? And the Chinese also. There is a snake alley. The snake will be hanging alive. They will catch and take the skin out, put the blood with soy sauce, they give you. You think it is a story? No, it is real. Such people will go to Kumbhipakam, where, what is the torture there? They are fried in boiling oil. Kumbhipakam. They will be making pakode out of you. Bhajia. Now, whoever commit atrocities against parents, holy men and the Vedas, they are thrown to Kala Sutra, hell. Now here it is very tough, you see. It is said 10,000 yojanas of burning copper sheet, heated from above by the sun and from below by fire. Sun is there also, huh? And they have to walk on that. Heated within by want of food and drink, and outside by the burning metal. The sinner sometimes sits, sometimes lies, sometimes walks, sometimes runs, in utter distress for as many years as there are hairs on an animal's body. My God. So many years. They have to walk like that. Now be careful. Don't ill-treat your parents. Take care of them. People throw them out, on the street. After taking their money, they throw them out. Such people have to walk on the copper sheet. Burning copper sheet. Kala Sutra. Those who abandon their dharma based on the Vedas, even without the threat of any danger or compulsion, and join sects of atheistic philosophers, become communist, you see. Nastikas. They are thrown into the hell called Asipatravana. There they are whipped and made to run about in a forest full of trees with sword-like leaves which lacerate their bodies as they pass through their midst. Crying out of terrible pain, they sued at every step. What is that? Now you convert yourself to become what? Communist. Deny the God, deny our dharma. What is this? Such people. If a king or an officer under him punishes innocent people, he goes to the purgatory called Sukara Mukha. There are powerful emissaries of Yama with faces resembling those of pigs. That's a Sukara Mukha. The sinners are thus subjected to attack by them as a sugarcane field by elephants. With the bodies broken, they soon, just like the innocent person they had tortured. God has given different form of livelihood to different creatures. Some of these may go against the interest of man, but man should not retaliate against these creatures for two reasons. They are not endowed with the capacity to know that they are doing injury to man. And next, man knows that they will be injured if he retaliates. A person who injures lower creatures for selfish purposes goes to the purgatory called Anthakupa. And there he will have to live in a low type of body, attacked by the creatures he had injured. In darkness, without sleep and restless, he will have to drag on a wretched existence. People kill animals and all that. Now, another one. He who eats food alone like a crow, without doing the Pancha Mahayajnas. A grahastha has to perform Pancha Mahayajna. Daiva Pujanam, Rishi Pujanam, then Bhutayajna, Devayajna, Rishiyajna, Bhutayajna, then Manushayajna. There is one more is there. That is the Pitrayajna, correct. So Pitrayajna, Devayajna, Rishiyajna, Bhutayajna, Manushayajna. You have to feed somebody, it seems. A guest should be fed. In India it is very easy, but here, even if you ask somebody to come, they will be suspicious, isn't it? Anyway. Krimi Bhojana. This is the name of the hell. Such people. There he gets the form of a worm and himself eats worms and is eaten by a big worm until his sin is expiated. Whoever steals or takes by force the properties of a holy man or takes away the wealth of others, even when no imminent danger threatens him, is caught in Yama's realm with heated iron spikes. This is too much, isn't it? Next one, men and women who enter into prohibited sex relationship out of lust are whipped in Yamaloka by the emissaries of Yama and made to embrace red-hot metal effigies of the opposite sex. Men who out of lust seek. Now this is another one, extreme case. Intercourse with animals are taken to the purgatory known as Vajra Kantaka Salmali, are tortured by being dragged through the branches of trees having thorns like adamantine spikes. They're all extreme cases. Weird people are there. See. So that is all covered here. Kings, their officers and men of status claiming themselves to be the followers of the Vedas, but who disregard all rules of morality and good conduct, fall after death into Vaitarani, the river that flows like a moat around the region of the purgatory. They are partly eaten up by many fierce creatures living in it. Vaitarani. Those who live with the unchaste women and indulge in unrestricted sensuous life, abandoning rules of purity, good conduct, law, sense of shame, they too will fall into this Vaitarani, full of fecus, urine, phlegm, etc., and forced to subsist on that filthy stuff. Brahmanas who keep dogs and donkeys, who go about hunting and who kill prohibited animals, are shot at by Yama's emissaries with sharp arrows and wounded all over. Those who organize fake yajnas for mere show and kill animals in it, they degenerate men go after death to the purgatory known as Vaisava and are similarly strangled by Yama's men. What is that called? Kosher food, right? Kosher food. Kosher is for Jews, right? Muslim? Halal.
Halal.
Halal food. This halal food, how they make, they want to kill a chicken. They hold the neck with a knife, one scratch. Then they say, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, again one. And slowly they kill. That kind of people they got. Now those who people, another type, all pervert. A sexual pervert who subject women to abnormal sexual practices is taken to the purgatory known as Rethakulya and then forced to live on semen. Rethakulya. Kings and their soldiers who behave like brigands, burning villages, poisoning water, and perpetrating similar atrocities against men, find themselves after death in the purgatory known as Sarameyadana, where they are attacked and torn to shreds by a pack of 720 dogs. People do that, all those, what do you call that? Revolutionaries, They put poison in the water. They do this, the bomb they put, attack. That kind of people. Whoever tells lies and behaves dishonestly in bearing witness in financial transaction and in making charitable gifts is taken after death to the purgatory known as Avichimata, where he will be hurled from the top of the mountain 100 yojanas high. He falls on the ground that looks from above as a watery surface, but is in reality a flat rocky slab. The point is, he becomes alive to be thrown down again. Even though he is hurled down from that such 100 yojanas, he won't die. They will pick him up again throw him. That's what. My God. Now, so what do you call that? False witness. People do know there are professional witnesses are there in India. You can hire them for a price. Such people. If a Brahmana or his wife or anyone observing a sacred vow drink liquor, and so also if any Kshatriya or Vaishya drink the juice of Soma plant, they are led to the purgatory where the emissaries of Yama, trembling on their chest, pour molten metal into their mouth. A degraded man who pretends himself to be very eminent and insult men who are wise, virtuous, is taken to the purgatory called Charaka Kardama. Charaka Kartama. Charakardhama. There he dropped from above headlong and suffers miseries without end. Now, men who use human beings as sacrificial beasts for propitiating evil deities and women who eat the flesh of such human victims are attacked in the purgatory by goblins. There are persons who entice innocent creatures living in village and forest, generate confidence in them and get them near and then put them on a sharp spears or entrap them in nooses. Such torturers are put on spears in the purgatory, and vultures and other birds of prey tear out their flesh. Wow. You want to hear more? Tired, right? Now, Sukamashi says, beside these, there are several other terrible hells in the realm of Yama. What kind of an operation is this? I don't know. Yamaraj must be having such a Yama city. There was a joke, Yamaraj visited our Indian hospital, government hospital. They visited and went back and said that we don't have to make any arrangement here in the Yama city because in earth, in government hospital, literacy is enough. They get enough torture there now. Both inheritors of heaven and of hell, after enjoyed or suffered for the action they have done, return to earth with their residuary karma for fresh embodiment. Shine punne mattilokam vishanti. Sutva sthulam tatha sukshmam rupam bhagavato yati stule narjitamatmanam shanai sukshmam diya nayed iti. Sukamashi says, this much is the description of the gross body of the Supreme, constituted of his inherent spiritual power. See, one who hear all these, listening to this narakas, torture, man withdraw from doing sins and inquire into the nature of the Bhagavan. With faith and devotion, he will attain the purity of mind by virtue of his Shraddha and Bhakti, and will come to understand the subtle form of the Lord, which is beyond the grasp of the senses. The point is, the student should hear about the gross and subtle aspect of Bhagavan both. Then first using the gross form to gain concentration. Then he should gradually draw his mind towards the subtle form. Now, Sukamashi concludes here, Gita maya tava nirbhadbhudam ishwarasya sthulam vapu Sakala Jiva Nikaya Dhama. I have now finished description to you the wonderful gross body of the Lord, which is the residence of all living beings and which consists of all gross entities, the terrestrial sphere, the deepas, varshas, with their rivers, mountains, sky and ocean, the 14 worlds from Satyaloka to Patala, the quarters, the purgatories and the galaxies. So all these things I have told you. With that we end the 5th canto. Now comes the 6th canto. So the first one is Athikari, second canto Sadhana, third canto Sarga, fourth canto Visarga, fifth canto Sthanam, entire world exists in the Supreme Lord alone. Then now comes the Poshanam, 6th canto, titled as Poshanam, means nourishment. The entire world has emerged out of Paramatma. It is nourished by Him. But this nourishment has got another meaning, Tat Anugraha, His grace. Bhagavan said in Gita many places, Apichet suduracharaha papepya papakrittamaha sadhureva samantavyaha. So even if you are a greatest sinner, once you regret and turn towards Bhagavan, He will make you pure. This aspect is what we have to understand. Grace of Lord. Namam, Archana, Rupam. Namasmarana, Rupadhyanam, and offering Archana. Now let us see. Rajo Vacha. Nivritti marga katita ado bhagavata yatha kramayogopanabdhena brahmana yadasam smritihi. Now up to the 6th verse, Parikshit is summarizing what he has heard from Shuka Maharshi. Because summary of the whole teaching, what he heard. That is a test of the student also, whether he was listening or not listening. So Parikshit is passing the test. Pravritti lakshana chaiva traigunya vishayo mune yosavalina prakriter gunasarga punah punaha adharma lakshana nana daragaccharu varnitaha Manvandaracha vyakhyata adya soyambhuvo yataha priyavradottana pador vashastacharitani cha deepa varsha samudradi nadyudyana vanaspatim dhara mandala samsthanam bhagalakshanamānataha Jyotisham Vivaranam cha Yed amrtajat vibhu adhuneha mahabhaga yathaiva naragannarha manograyatana neyat tanme vyakhyatumarhasi. So he is summarizing what he has heard. You have first expounded the means for salvation from the samsara, following the method of gradual release, that is karma mukti. It consists of in practicing divine communion through different disciplines and attaining to Brahma's realm, and from there attaining release from the embodied existence at the time of the pralaya, along with Brahma himself. You have also described the life of informant of samsara, how driven by the force of karma, he is born repeatedly, taking birth repeatedly in this world because of guna and prakriti. You have given period to the rule of Manus, various purgatories, description of the narakas you have given. You have given the story of Uttanapada and Priyambada. Now the sixth one. Adhuneha mahabhaga yathaiva narakan naraha nanokra yatana nyeya tanme vyakhyadum arhasi. Now it is proper for you to tell me how man can save himself from the sufferings of the hell as described by you. Nobody wants to go when you hear all this torture. How to escape from that? Now Sri Shuka Vacha Nachedihaivapachitam yatamhasa kritasya kukryan mana uktipanibihi dhruvam savai pretya narakanupaiti ye kirtita me bhavadastikmayatanaha tasmat purevaschiva papa niskritau yete namrityor avipatyadatmana doshascha drishtva kurulakavam yatha vishak chikitsena rujam nidhanavite. When man or woman, when they are capable, they should consult a proper astrologer and find out the prayachchitta karma. What type of prayachchitta I should do, and perform those prayachchitta karma so that he will be free from the papas. Therefore, long before death, sufficiently early in life, when the mind and body have not become old, man should do this prayachchitta karma for whatever sins he had done according to their seriousness, Like the physician how describe medicine for the sick. And he, understanding the prevailing condition of the patient, the doctor gave different medicine. Same way, understanding the seriousness of the sin, the prescriptions are given in the Shastra. One should follow that. That time Raja said, see, that is okay. The problem is not that. So it is, in the church people go there and do confession, right? That is called prayachita. And next day morning he thinks that he is now all free of sin, he can start. Isn't it? That is what Raja says. This prayachita karma is useless because the moment you come out, it is like kunjara snanam, like an elephant bath. You take bath in the tank and come out, put some mud on him. Same way. Human beings also do the same thing. Why? Because the sin is gone but not the sinner. Sinner is still there. Therefore, Sukamashi says, Sri Sukavaja, karmana karma nirharo nahyat atyantika ishyate avitvat vadhikaritvat prayachittam vimarshanam. The moola karanam is avidya, ignorance. The ignorance born ego is the sinner. Unless the ego is destroyed, in order to destroy ego, we have to destroy ignorance. Ignorance of what? Ignorance of our own nature. That is called ignorance here. You are not ignorant about the world. You are ignorant about your own real nature. That ignorance have to go. Nasyata patyamevanam vyadhayo bhivavandihi evam niyama kridrajan shanai kshemaya kalpate. Man who is on wholesome diet does not fall ill. In the same way, one who practices spiritual discipline gradually attains purification of mind, and through that the knowledge of God. So what is to be done? You should practice austerity, celibacy, control of the mind, control of senses, charity, practice of virtues like kindness, truth, and discipline like japa, worship. A man of righteousness and faith overcomes even great sins committed by body, words and mind. Just like a fire destroys a grove of reeds, bamboo reeds. Kechit, 15th one. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya Vasudeva parayanaha akham dunnunti kartsena niharamiva bhaskaraha. Some people with total devotion to Bhagavan. Intense and unadulterated devotion means devotion should be sincere. Our devotion is what business, isn't it? Not like that. He will eradicate all sarva papa, sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham tva sarva papebhyaha mokshayishyami ma shucha. So that is all perfect. Here also same thing. Have complete faith in Bhagavan, He will purify you. Like a sun dissipating the mist. Now he says, 17th verse, Sagri chino hyavam loke pantha kshemo krito bhayaha sushila sadhavo yatra narayana parayanaha. This path of devotion, which is without any risk and which is comparatively easy to practice, is the best suited for men in general. And this one can develop with the association with the devotees. Sadhu Sangha, very important. Even if you perform prayachita karma, but not devoted to Bhagavan, it will not work. Example given, a liquor pot, if you wash with water, what happens? Liquor smell will be there still. Kurute Ganga Sagara Gamanam Vrataparipalanam Atavadanam. There is one there. Another one is what? Bhagavad Gita Kinchitatita Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita Sakritapiyena Murari Samarcha Kriyate Tasya Yamena Nacharcha. Same point is given here, 19th verse. Sakranmana Krishna Padara Vindayor Niveshidam Dat Gunaragi Yairiha Nateyamam Pasha Pradascha Tat Bhadan Sopne Pipashyandihi Chirna Nishkritaha. If a man with a feeling of passionate attachment unites his mind with Krishna's feet, even once, he will not see Yama or his emissaries with noose in hand, even in dream. Think, bhakti is highlighted here. Now to prove that point, now the famous story, Ajamila story is given here. धान्यगुप्ते द्विजकश्चित् दासीपतिरजामिलः नाम्ना नष्ट सदाचारः दास्या संसर्गदूषितः. 21st verse. In the city of Kanyakubja, there was a Brahmana named Ajamila who had a prostitute as his wife. Corrupted by association with her, he abandoned the scriptural regulations binding the life of a Brahmana. Ajamila was a Brahmana, following all the duties of a Brahmana. But one day happened to see a prostitute and got attached to her, fell in love with her. He drove away his own wife and children, started living with her. Vandyakshakaidavaichorer garhitam vrittimastitaha vrittak kudumbamashujir yatayamasa dehinaha. He adopted for the support of himself and his family what? Highway robbery, gambling, cheating, stealing and the like, and lived a life of corruption and of cruelty to living beings. एवं निवसतस्तस्य लालयानस्य तत् सुतान् कालोत्यगान् महान् राजन् नष्टाशीत्यायुषः समाः. Absorbed in fondling the children of that woman, he spent a major part of his life until he was 88. तस्य प्रवयसपुत्रा दशतेषां तु यो वसा बालो नारायणो नाम्ना पित्रोश्च दयितो वृषम्. The old man had 10 sons, of whom Narayana, the youngest, was very dear to his parents. बुद्ध हृदयस्तस्मिन् अर्भके कलभाषिणी निरीक्षमाणत्तल्लीलां मुमुदे चरठो वृषम्. Most joyous occasion for that person was to watch the pranks of that sweetly prattling child to whom he was so deeply attached. Old age you get children, like that only. You get so much attached. Punjanaha prabiban khadan बालकस्नेह यंत्रितः भोजयन् पाययन् मूढो न वेदागतमन्तकम्. What happened? Feeding the child along with himself, making him eat and drink with himself. That foolish man failed to notice The approach of the god of death completely dominated his was by his attachment to the child. He forgot. Then what happened? Sayevam vartamanotnyo mrityukala upastite bhatim chakaratanaye bale narayanahvaye. While spending his time thus, his last days approached. Still that man of little understanding continued to bestow his whole mind on his child Narayana. Sa pasahastantrin drishtva purushan vrishadarunan vakratundhanurdharoshma atmanam netumagadan. When the time of death came, he saw before him three fierce beings, the emissaries of Yama, with curved faces and with erect hair. You must have seen that kind of fashion. Erect hair. What is Second Street in New York? You can see those. The hairstyle. They shave off the little hair standing there like a chicken hair. They are all Yamadutas. They entered the house with noose in hand. Now, this man, because of his austerity before, he had the power to see them. And it seems that a man who is about to die, he sees the Yamadutas. On seeing them, he was struck with fear and cried aloud to his boy Narayana, Dure Kridanakasaktam Putram Narayana Plavitena Surenoche Ajuhava Akulendriyaha. Frightened with this Yamadutas, the child was playing somewhere outside. And because he was fond of this child, he called the name Narayana loudly. Now what happened? Nishamya mriyamanasya bhruvato harikirtanam bhartunnama maharaja parshada sahasapatan. Hearing the dying man's cry, invoking the secret name of Sri Hari, the emissaries of Mahavishnu appeared there. Then what they did? Vikarshadondar hridayat dasipati majamilam yamapreshyan vishnuduta varayam asurojasa. These emissaries of Mahavishnu forcefully disengaged the attendants of Yama. Yama's attendants were taking his soul with their noose. Immediately Vishnudutas came and put him back. Now what? There is a conversation between Yamadutas and Vishnudutas. Okay. Now when they were obstructed, Uchur nishedidastam ste vaivaswata purassara ke yuyam pratished dwaro dharmarajasya sasanam. When obstructed like this, the attendants of Yamaraj, who are you to go a counter to the order of Yama, the Lord of Dharma? Whose servants are you? Where are you coming from? Why do you obstruct our taking away this man? Are you celestial or demigods or siddha, purushas? Sarve Padmabala Shakshaha Pida Keshe Pida Kauseyavasasaha Kiridina Kundalino Lesas Pushkaramalinaha Sarvecha Nutnavayasaha Sarve Charu Chadurbujaha Dhanur Nishangasi Gada Shanga Chakrambuja You are all looking very good, eyes like lotus petals, and dressed with an yellow silk hat, crown, ear pendants, wearing beautiful lotus garlands. You all look young and are endowed with 4 arms and equipped with bow, quiver, sword, mace, conch, discus, and lotus. Your luster, you are illuminating the surrounding. Now, why are you obstructing us in discharging our duties? Now, Shukamarshi says, Ityukte yamadudeste vasudevoktagarinah tan pratyujuhu prahasyedam Megha Dihradaya Gira. When the attendants of Yama said like this, the attendants of Vishnu smiled and replied in words that sounded like a thunder. Now what Vishnu said, Yuyam ve dharmarajasya yadi nirdeshakarinaha Brudha dharmasya nastatvam yacha dharmasya lakshanam Kadam svid priyate dandak kim vasya sthanam ipsidam Dandya kim karinas sarve aho titkati chiprunam. Now, if you are the emissaries of Dharmaraja, then you would be able to tell us what the essence of dharma is and what its signs are. You should also be able to inform us how you are going to inflict punishment, what punishment you would be inflicting, what kind of people are liable for punishment, and whether it would be inflicted on all or on some people only. Now the Yamaduta said, Veda pranihito dharmo hyadharmat tat viparyaha Vedo narayana sakshat swayambhuriti sushruma. Dharma is what is ordained in the Vedas. What is prohibited in the Veda is adharma. The self-originated Veda is Narayana himself, having emerged with his breath. Yerat swadhamyami bhava rajasattvam tattva-tamomayaha gunanam akriya rupe vibhavyante yatha tatham. Suryukna. Now comes the beautiful thing. Narayana, he who creates in himself creatures out of the qualities of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, characterized by distinction of forms, names and actions. Suryoktikham marudgava soma sandhyahani dishaha kam kukkalo dharma iti hete dehyasya rakshiraha. Sun. Now whatever sin we are committing, who are all the Sakshi? Yamaduta says sun. Then fire, sky, air, the senses, moon, sandhya, daytime, night, quarters, water, earth, time. These are all Sakshya. We think that, close your door, you do whatever you do, nobody will know. No. There are no hidden cameras, nothing. But this Vayu Bhagavan is watching, Sun God is watching, time is watching, night, quarters, water, earth, time. These are the witness of all action of man. They testify to man's evil actions. They give report to Yamaraj. Yamaraj has got spies, everywhere. A man found guilty of evil deed is a fit subject for punishment. Etair adharmo vijnatah sthanam dandasya yujyate sarve karmanurodhena dandamarhantikarinaha. A man found guilty of evil deed is a fit subject for punishment. He may escape from the civil law, but he cannot escape from Yamaraj law. All men who engage themselves in evil actions are liable to punishment according to the nature of their action. Sambhavanti hi vadrani viparitani chanakha karinam gunasangosti dehavanna yakarma krita. All work produce a mixture of good and bad effects. These accrue to the worker because he has attachment for work and their fruits. And no man with the body can absolutely abstain from work. Yena yavan yadha dharmo veha samihitaha sayeva tatphalam bhunkte tatha tavadamutravai. Whoever has performed dharma and adharma, and to the extent he has done them, in proportion to it, he enjoys and suffers in the life here or hereafter. Yedeha deha pravarat traividyam upalabhyate bodeshu guna vaichitriyat tathanyatranumiyate. Just as in this world men have happiness or misery, or happiness come misery, because of the operation of three gunas of Prakriti, the same happened to them hereafter also. Manasaiva pure deva purvarupam vipashyati anumimam sade purvam manasa Bhagavan ajaha. Worshipful Yama, Brahma, like in wisdom, can even while remaining in his realm, samyamini, understand through the power of his mind all the previous history of a dying individual and decide what kind of purgatory should be awarded to him and what kind of future birth he should have. Yadhatnyastamasa yukta upaste vyaktameva hi naveda purvavaram nashtajanma smritistatha. Just as a person caught in the darkness of ignorance that overtakes him in the dream state regards the dream ego alone as himself and not his body of the waking state, so also man think of his present body as himself in complete forgetfulness of the other bodies he had in earlier birth. Bhagavan's Maya. The Linga Sharira, subtle body, which is beginningless in origin and is constituted of the above mentioned 16 adjuncts, 16 kalas. What are the 16 kalas?
Mana buddhi, the 10 indriyas.
10 indriyas, pancha pranas, mind. Mind, 16. (52) Dehyatnyojita shatvargo nechan karmani karyate koshakara ivatmanam karmanachatya muhyati. The jiva who has not yet conquered the senses is forced to perform karma even if he does not like it, like a silkworm. The jiva covers himself with the cocoon of karma with no means to get out. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jadudishtatya karma krite. See, Gita. Karyate hyabashak karma gunai swabhavigir belad. Same person has written this Bhagavatam also, Gita also, right? So same words are same without copyright. Courtesy Gita he didn't say. Why it is his own. No one can remain without karma even for a minute. Karyate avashak karma. Now, gives Ajamila's previous history. Okay. Now, why they are punishing him? Now, they are giving a reason. 56th. Ayam hi shruta sampannaha shila vritta gunalayaha tridavrato murdurdantaha satyavan mantra vichuchi. This Ajamila was originally a man learned in scriptures, virtuous, pure-hearted, possessed of an exemplary character and conduct, given to a spiritual, austere living, tender-hearted, established in sense control, devoted to truth, and learned in mantras. Look at this. Great person. Guruvan adhithi vruddhanam shushrushun dirahangkrutaha sarvabhuta suhrasadur vidavag anasuyakaha. He was also devoted to the service of the teacher, the sacred fire, guests and elders. Beside being prideless, friendly and helpful to all, moderate in speech, and devoid of jealousy and other vices. Think about it. Now what happened then to him? Ekada sovanam yata Pitr Sandeshakrit Dvijaha Adaya Tada Avrittaha Palapushpa Samit Kushan. This Ajamila was, okay. Once this Brahmana was, as directed by his father, went to the adjoining forest to collect flowers, fruit, sacrificial firewood, kusha grass, etc. And after gathering all this, he was returning home. Then what happened? Dadarsha kaminam kachit shudram saha bhujishyasaya pitvaja madhu maireyam mada gurnita netraya. There he happened to see, on the way back he saw an extremely lascivious man in the company of a harlot whose eyes were rolling under the influence of a liquor, rice wine. He saw nearby this man engaging himself in amorous preoccupation with that intoxicated woman whose clothes had fallen off in her from the body, shamelessly, without any consideration for good contact. Without any consideration for good contact, the man was laughing and singing to her tune. Drishtvatam kamaliptena bahuna parirambhidam jagama richayavasham sahadeva vimohidaha. Seeing the man embracing her with arms anointed with, the Brahmana was completely carried away by an outburst of passion and became enslaved to Cupid. Tambayan atmanatmanam yavatsatvam yatashrutam na shashaka samadhadum mano madanavepitam. Though he tried his best to restrain himself, using the power of his will and scriptural understanding, all his efforts were of no avail, and his mind was powerfully stirred by Kamadev. Tannimitta smarakhyaja grahagrasto vichedanaha tameva manasadhyayan sudharmadviraramaha. Possessed by that evil spirit in the shape of Cupid, with the sight of that woman as the occasion, he lost even the memory of his past holy life and began to spend his time in constant absorption in her thought, abandoning all his sacred and secular duties. Dhyayato vishayat pumsa sangasteshu upajayate. How the fall happens, Tameva doshayamasa pitrenarthena yavata gramer manoramai kame prasideda yatha tatha. Whatever property he had got from his father, he utilized to please her through vulgar and exciting indulgences according to her liking. Pitram vipram swabharyam apraudham kule mahadilambidam visasarchachirat papaha swairinnya panga vidvatihi. With his good senses shattered by the weapon of that prostitute sidelong glances, he before long abandoned his young wife of tender years, hailing from a very respectful Brahmana family and married to him according to Vedic rites. He abandoned her. Yatastadachopaninnye nyayado dhanam Bhavarasya kudumbinya kudumbam mandadhirayam. This stupid man brought the newly wife, mean prostitute, wealth from here and there, having earned it by means of fair or foul, and somehow maintained her family. Yadasho shastram ullankhya soiracharyar yagarhitaha avartada chiram kalam akhayurachuchirmalat. He spent a long time living the unrestricted life of freedom, throwing all the Vedic injunctions to the winds, eating that harlot's impure food and indulging in sins and ways of life condemned by all respectable people. He did not do any prayachita also for his sins. Therefore, we are taking him to the realm of Yama, the holder of the rod of punishment, so that he may be purified in the purgatory hell. Okay. This is Yamaduta's statement. Now, what Vishnuduta is going to say is very important. We will see that in our next class, okay? Don't get frightened. We have solutions. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Hari Om.